Now, for some perspectives on this story, let's bring in Makram Rabah, a lecturer at the American University of Beirut. Thank you for joining us, Makram. Now,
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Now, first, the president Hariri has been elected as the prime minister. Will this lead to more political turmoil?
Well, naming Hariri does not mean that he can actually form a government, but rather that he has engaged now in a long, arduous process to convince the political establishment to support his nomination by allowing him to form the government. The problem here that Hariri does not only face economic reforms. The problem is not purely economic. It is a crisis of government and basically the absence of sovereignty. The issue here is not the ability of Hariri to convince the international community that Lebanon is worth saving. It's basically that the whole political establishment, including Hariri himself, has been in government for the last 15 years, and they have failed abysmally to do anything simply because they are in a state of alliance with the weapons of Hezbollah, which is an Iranian-dominated militia. So any talk about reform or structural reform to this political system has to go through Hezbollah, and this is something which has proven time and again impossible to do.
Now, it's been a year since protests in the October 17 movement in Lebanon. What has changed since then, and what challenges remain?
Well, first of all, one of the main things which has changed that the entirety of the country, including those who support the political establishment, have gotten to this realization that this system has to change. More importantly, many challenges has stood in the way of this revolution, be it the COVID pandemic or basically the economic hardship, in addition to the fact that Hezbollah, as well as the rest of the political establishment, have tried to suppress this revolution by force. The thing which is really important here is that the voices of the people on the street have been heard by the international community, asking for a proper reform and for this political establishment to leave and allow for a new political contract to take place. However, any talk about the French initiative being able to change this is a fallacy, and the idea that Hariri can be a hero which will save the day is also an illusion which is perpetrated by Hariri himself.
All right. Thank you, Makram Rabah. I was speaking to Makram Rabah, a lecturer at the American University of Beirut.